Hello, welcome to PRTv, Paxton Road TV. I am Sam Spurs for Life, and I am in a good mood because Spurs have not played yet, and it's all calm. So we are going to do a bit of a talking points tonight. I'm joined in the house, super special guest. She's always positive, but sometimes she's not. So that's why I called her sometimes Positive Vibes Pav. She's in the house to join me tonight to discuss that Daniel Levy Cambridge Union interview. Pav,
hello.
Super Pav, legit. Go. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm just ready to rant, to be honest. I'm on a roll.
Have we not done enough ranting? Because we've done.
No, I haven't. No.
Oh wow, that tells me everything. That this is going to be one of them shows. Well, it's just the two of us tonight. Sid, he's currently on Ramadan, so again, he's fasting, which is brilliant. Sean can't make it tonight. Darius is doing other stuff. So me and Super Pav are going to try to discuss Daniel Levy, Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane, whatever else comes to mind or whatever else we want to discuss. Firstly, how are you doing? How have you been kind of trying to, I don't know, wrestle with this fact that Tottenham are shockingly bad, but we're in 5th place, 3 points behind Newcastle. We play Newcastle on Sunday. Look out for the preview show, by the way, which is going to be tomorrow. Me and Sid are going to do that 12 o'clock. And yeah, the hope.
Do you know what? It's just me holding on to the positivity, which I don't know why I'm doing, but it's just in the back of my mind. I'm just like, do you know what? At least we're not at the bottom of the table. Do you know what? We're playing like as if we should be there. We're so lucky to be 5th and not lower. And the only reason why we are in that position is because we're relying on other teams to lose. And that's the only reason why, if I'm being honest. But it's just the fact that, you know, shocking performances, especially against Bournemouth. Like, I'm still fuming at that. But I know it's in the past, but still, it's a continuous cycle. And it's just boring. Because it's repetitive, it gets so boring and nothing is changing. That's why I'm just like, do you know what? We're 5th. It's fine. It could be worse. We could be 17th or 20th, and we're not. So.
Chelsea. We could be Chelsea. But then people are saying, Chelsea, they've won stuff in the past, but you still don't want to have a season like they've had and be knocked out of everything and be wherever they are, 11th in the league. They will bounce back. Obviously, they've got the players, they've got the money, and they will do what they need to do, Chelsea. So we shouldn't really look at them and compare ourselves to them. But it's nice to be able to laugh at them. Don't get me wrong. Nice. Obviously, up the road, we can't really be laughing at them. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the title race. They're talking differently now up the road. Oh, no. Oh, it's always top 4. Top 4 was always what we're talking about. Oh, no, we're not winning. No, I never said. That's always going to be the case.
I still think they're going to bottle it.
I just think that game against Manchester City next week, Wednesday, is going to be the key game. If they come away with a point or a win, I think Arsenal will go on and do it. If they don't, City are just going to steamroll it, and they could end up doing the treble. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about us. But this is how it goes, because we don't want to talk about ourselves, because we're going to find it depressing. No. But Daniel Levy has done a recent interview. He was at the Cambridge Union. So Cambridge University, they have these like union things where students and professors they get to talk, and they have somebody there that's I don't know if he's got an honorary doctorship, or if that's a word, or actual bachelor's or whatever it is that they get, post grad or whatever it is that they want. Honorary, that's the word I was trying to honorary post grad or an honorary graduate. That's what I was looking for. I was racking my brain. What's the word? But there it goes. Honorary. Because I don't think he's got anything. But he's talked more than I've heard him talk for a very, very long time. And I'm not happy because I think it's too little, too late. And he's not really saying anything that we don't really already know. But is he actually telling the truth? is he actually just spinning the line so that we all go out and buy our season tickets or renew our season tickets and go to the last few games of the season, not be unhappy and think, oh, there's this positivity about Spurs? Have you heard much about it? And I'll put some of the stuff up. But what's your initial thoughts when you actually started hearing all the stuff on Twitter and all the rest?
So I've not watched it. I've not got around to watching it, but I've read a lot of things. And one of the quotes, which I know that we're going to be discussing later, really made me fume because of what he was saying. But it's just like it is with Daniel Levy, it's just all talk. He uses his words, all talk, just to try and get the fans on his side because he knows he's getting a lot of hate. And that's what he's done in his interview. He's using his words to try and get the fans on his side. And you're not living up to your words. You're saying certain things, but we're not seeing it. It's one of those interviews where you're talking, but we're not seeing much.
Let me put this first thing up because this first quote, it's almost like a slap in the face. Let me just get this banner off the bottom because it looks a little bit better without. So, again, this is verbatim quotes that are taken out of the actual interview. So, if there's out of context, people obviously just bear with us. But in terms of people asking the question, when we first came into Tottenham, winning was about staying in the Premier League. And then when we became more successful, it was about getting into the Europa League, getting into the Champions League. Pav, I'll read that to you again. When we first came into Tottenham, winning was about staying in the Premier League. What?
I know. He's basically downplaying us. He's basically... What he's trying to say is that we were a bad team initially and it was hard for us to stay like up in the Prem. So that was the first aim. What? That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
I get what we weren't the greatest. We did a show before on Paxton where we kind of did the 20 years before ENIC and the 20 years post ENIC. And this is obviously a year or two ago when we did that show. And yeah, clearly we are better in terms of a more, I hate the word success, but at least a bit more reliable in terms of our league finishing. We've become more consistent in that aspect. We were finishing 14th. We were getting those 12ths and 8ths and 13ths and 14ths. And, you know what I mean? But yeah. I remember that season when just before Harry Redknapp came, we kind of flirted with a bit of, the first few games. But in all seriousness, Spurs shouldn't be looking at that and thinking to ourselves, that's what you come into the club and that's what you want. I wanted to hear more. When I first came into Tottenham, it was about trying to build success, be more positive. As you said, this is downplaying it. Why do you think he's doing that?
Because he doesn't know what we're about. You look at him and you expect, your chairman to kind of live up to their expectations and have this kind of ethos and like this mentality in your brain that, this is what I want Spurs to achieve. You want to be hearing him saying like, the aim of coming to Spurs was to, achieve these trophies by doing this. All he's saying really is that he came into Spurs to save our asses.
And then the next bit of it, and then when we became more successful, what do you classify as successes? I would then ask him, what do you classify as success, Daniel? Would be my next question. It was about getting into Europa League, getting into the Champions League. So that, if I'm correlating that right, when we become more successful, the aim was then to get into the Europa League and get into the Champions League. In this first part, he doesn't mention anything about trophies, but there is more to come onto. So I guess if I'm looking at it from both sides of the fence. Daniel Levy's side. It's a very cautious statement. It's a very cautious quote there. Yep, I agree. We weren't obviously a top 4 team 80s to 2000s, although we had some success, relative success, yes. But then this thing about top 4, I think that's all about what we've been for the last 20 years. And I've been blinded to it because I'm thinking that, he's a Tottenham fan, But the last 3 managers, I'm going to discount Nuno, but definitely Jose and Antonio Conte tried. I was trying to look at it. Well, this is a real positive. We must be looking to win stuff. We can't get them sort of managers in and not. But this initial thing about getting into Europa League, getting into the Champions League, it's a safety net. It's like almost saying, no, we weren't that good. And now look where we are. Look what we've done for you guys. That's how I see it. But his perspective is, we weren't that good before. Now look where you are, guys. You're much better than that.
Yeah, ultimately he's saying that he's played a role in, making us work upwards. Not about, the whole, I made this difference and you got won these trophies, blah, blah, blah. We're not seeing it. Wow, you got us higher. For what? For what? Where's our trophies?
It's money though. Because like when we get past, we'll do these quotes and then we'll talk a little bit more about it, because the quotes can obviously bring up certain points. So this next bit here, obviously this follows on from that first bit. Obviously the ultimate is to win trophies, and that is clearly what we are trying to do. Is it clearly what we're trying to do? Now, I've had arguments with people before, and this is going back to my days when I'm trying to be positive about how ENIC have been, and Danny Levy particularly been going forward. We've clearly seen they have spent money. It's been mistakes. It's been mistakes after mistakes, and nobody can tell me that we haven't spent money as a club. However, Mr. Levy seems to be involved in transfers. He's been involved in manager choices. We tried to get a director of football. Director of footballs have left. But obviously the ultimate is to win trophies, and that is clearly what we're trying to do. It's not clear to me, because if it was clear, we wouldn't have had Sheffield United. We wouldn't have had, some of the results that we've seen in the past with some of them teams in the Europa League. I don't even want to talk about some of those Europa League Conference League stuff that we've had. And we've seen the teams not trying. So it might be clear that we're trying to do, but somebody's not trying hard enough. Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it ENIC? It's a combination, but as the face, you're going to have to take some sort of responsibility about that. And the next bit here, am I happy about the fact we've won one trophy in the last 15 years? Absolutely not. That's fair. But what have you done about it?
That's what could have been done. What are you doing about it?
Yeah. How do you see that when you hear those words? Because obviously he's going to be a salesman. He's not going to put himself in a bad light. Say, I've done a shocking job. I've made mistakes. I've tried to bring people in. I've got involved. I've meddled. He's not going to say all that. But when you see that and you read that, how does it make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel angry, because you say the ultimate aim is to win trophies, and that's what we are trying to do. How are you trying to do it? Because if you were trying to do it, we would have seen a difference. Why is it a constant repetitive cycle of us losing games, playing rubbish, getting in managers and not making a difference, and not bringing trophies to the table? Why is it? He is ultimately, in other words, to blame. Yes, you are throwing money at us. Yes, we're spending whatever. But you, like you said, Sam, he has a say in these decisions. And the fact that he has a say in these decisions, it goes against us. And he's just not football-like. Ultimately, he just provides us with money. I don't think he has any knowledge around football as a whole. And that's a problem in itself, because the decisions he's making hasn't worked for us, getting in certain players or, playing a certain way. Ultimately, in other words, Daniel Levy, we're not seeing a difference, and you're not trying to do anything.
No, recent, and I think it's the recent, certainly the last 4 to 5 years. The end of Poch's reign, when we got to that Champions League, that was a crescendo. The last year, White Hart Lane, unbeaten, the crescendo of success. And I'm going to say it's relative success, because success is about winning trophies. Not losing at home is great, but you didn't win anything for it. Champions League final, we had an opportunity in that game to win, as you always do if you're in a final. We haven't got the heritage, as some manager would say. Liverpool do. That's probably why they won that. But there was also mistakes in there. Harry Kane started, blah, 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 giving away a penalty within the first X amount of minutes, 5, 10, whatever it was, Sissoko handball. We was a bit unlucky with the decision as well, but still, that was the crescendo for me. And then obviously after that, he's been chasing his tail. We've tried to get people like Jose in, but not support him, really. Jose then comes out and says, there's things about the club I can't tell you about. Bloody hell, Conte did tell us about it, though. He didn't hold back. He told us everything which is going wrong, what he feels needs to happen, and blah, 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 blah. So this next comment here is what I want you to have a look at. But I also think we've had some fantastic times. We've been in the Champions League a number of times. And despite the fact that I feel sick that there is a North London club who is a bit higher than us at this moment in time, a bit higher, then I look back at the last 5 years and we've also been above them. So that's what happens. Talk to me about that, Pav. Because I got my own thoughts, but I'll wait till you say your things.
Right. So the first part when he's mentioning, you know, we have been in the Champions League a number of times. Yeah, we have. And I'm sorry, but ultimately, yes, we've been in Champions League. It's benefited you because you've got the money. But what has it done for us? Wow, top 4. Where's our trophies? If it was so great, we would have won them. I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, yeah, but looking at that, that's his overarching aim. Top 4, no trophy, no winning the Champions League. Getting into the Champions League is an achievement in itself. Yes, to some people it is. Getting top 4 is big, blah, blah, blah. But what difference does it make to us? We're not winning the trophies. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And then the second part, when he's mentioning, you know, the scum, he's mentioning them. Yes, they are whatever position they are at the moment, but also mentioning that we've been higher than them. That in itself, yes, to us, it's, you know, amazing, us being higher than them in prior seasons.
Don't know what happened there, sorry.
But them now in a position, you can't compare them to us. The way that they're playing is completely off to the way that we're playing, and ultimately down to Daniel Levy. But comparing it and basically saying, you know, I look back in the last 5 years, we have always been above them. And in itself, yes, okay, great, brilliant, we've been above them. But what have we achieved? Nothing. That's what I'm saying. In itself, that's reading into that, all I see is that that's his aim of achieving, not the trophies. You want to achieve top 4, get into the top 4, and you want us to be higher than them. That's it. What difference does it make to us?
100% agree with what you said. It's a very, I'm going to give my take on it because I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. I'm just going to give a version about it's very diluted in terms of basically, as you just said, he's saying here, Champions League is what it's about, because it doesn't say we've had some fantastic times. We've been in the Champions League and we've got to the semi-final, got to the final. It's not even like that's a matter. It's the number of times we've been in the Champions League. And the number of times we've been in the Champions League means, as we've done, me and Sid had a bit of a talk about it. To win the FA Cup was something like 3.2 million from third round to final. To get into the Champions League was something like 35 million just to get in there. You can see, obviously, that correlation. If I'm an accountant who wants to make the most amount of profit for my company, and I see, oh, you know what? Maybe we should focus on this as opposed to that, because this brings us out, and then we. Yeah. So that's how I see that. It's a very diluted in that. The next part, he talks about the North London and he says a number of times the fact that I feel sick that there's who is higher than us at the moment. I look back at the last 5 years, and we've also been above them. What about the other 15, 16, 17 years then, Daniel? When they were above us and they were winning stuff. When we were above them, we didn't win nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's all well and good saying, oh, yeah, we've been above them the last 5 years and now we're kind of below them. They're not just above us. They're fucking top of the league and have a brilliant chance of winning the league, having been 5th last year and having looked like they had fallen off. We all know what happened with their last 5 games or so, and we kind of, got lucky, got on a bit of a run and pipped them to it. And that, again, I got caught up in it, celebrating that as an achievement. We picked Arsenal and we've got top 4. grand scheme of things, if Arsenal finish second this season, they've won as much as we have. In simple terms.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the league has won. Whoever doesn't, their only kind of fillet is that they get Champions League, Europa, or Conference. Now, as a club, that's what we're now based upon. We're based upon getting into Europe because of the stadium, because of the finances. We can look at all kinds of factors. But when you come out and say these sort of things about Arsenal, and you say, I look back at the last 5 years and we've also been above them, look at the history of the clubs and then talk about being above Arsenal for the last 5 years. Because it's great as a fan to be able to do that. Yeah, St. Tottenham's Day when they used to do it to us. I used to call it St. Goonham's Day when, but you know what I mean? It's all fun and games for a fan. But as a CEO, a CFO, whatever you want to call it, chairman, to be almost, no, we've been above them 5 years, but now we're not. That's, it don't feel right. It's almost like
it's ultimately disgusting, because why are you, bringing that up and ultimately saying, like, yeah, it is, but so what? It would be different if we actually won something and we finished above them, but we won nothing, just finished above them. Wow, big deal.
Yeah, and like you said, when we were in the season and we see the games and we, like I said, last season's a prime example. We're on Arsenal. We were out of all the competitions. All it was, our focus was to be above them. And if we were being above them, we knew we was going to get top 4. And I'm going to say myself, was clouded by that and have been clouded by that top 4 kind of chase for a while now. Not that I'm stupid and not seeing that we haven't, there's been mistakes made. I've always alluded to that. There's been so many mistakes made through Unique that it got to a point where it's ridiculous now. But I also then look at the other side of things. Tottenham, and a lot of people have said this, Tottenham always seem to want to do something about it. So we may have changed our managers X amount of times to do something about it, rightly or wrongly, at the wrong times, at the right times, maybe, so whatever. But then we sack some managers who were brought into the club to win things and sack them before a final. Jose Mourinho. Doesn't make sense. We bring in Conte, who says no in the summer. We obviously have a word in his ear. He says yes in November. He's never taken a job with any club partway through a season, but does decide to do it with Tottenham. Immediately comes in and says, "Oh, I'm not sure about this here. You're going to have to be patient with me." But what do? It all goes pear-shaped. But I kind of see that because Conte never signed a long enough contract for that to happen. Okay. Who should take full responsibility? Is it a collective thing? Or, as I was saying now, Daniel Levy's the face of this. I think he should be the one that resigns. You can't just get rid of owners. Look what they've been trying to do with the Glazers and Man United for bloody decades. It's not
working, yeah.
What can we do? What would you say is something that you'd want to see happen going forward as opposed to this merry-go-round?
Well, Levy needs to leave. But do you know what? As much as we're all saying this, Levy, ENIC out, blah, 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 it's realistically not going to happen. Because like you said, looking at the Man United situation with the Glazers, nothing's working as well. They're still there. And I just think, I'm not even going to say it because it's bad, but I just think that Levy and, Joe Lewis and them lot, they're just going to stay. This is
how I see it. I'm going to give you this is my little thing. Imagine I own a shop and I sell whatever I sell in that shop, and I've got customers that come in, they've been buying my stuff. Then they start complaining. I don't like that. It's broken. It's not very good. It's the poor quality. But yeah, I keep going in and buying the stuff. As a business person who owns a shop, would you sell that shop if you're making a lot of money just because they're moaning but they're still buying?
No.
Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. And this is my point. It's a business. Football is a business. There's a lot of money to be made in the Premiership just to be in the Premiership. Even if you fall out and come back up again, there's a lot of money. We can see what teams do. I think the bottom 12 or 10 teams have changed their managers in some way, shape, or form this season because of the fact that they've got to stay in the Premier League. I understand about that. I understand about the finances and all the rest of that sort of stuff. But what can we do? If the owners are not going to do anything, is this just going to happen and that? Are we gonna just not go to the games? I support Tottenham. I don't support Enoch. I want to see my team play. So it affects me if I do that.
I know. And a lot of people are saying, like I've seen on Twitter as well, a lot of people are like, oh, do you know what? Just don't turn up to matches, you know, or leave in the 20th minute, march out, blah, blah, blah. Do you realistically think that's going to make a difference on Levy? No. He benefits from, you know, us turning up to games as it is anyway. He's making money off it. And, you know, I think he's gloating inside, to be honest, that he's getting all this attention from the fans because he hasn't had this much attention before. But no, it is down to him. Like you said, he is the face of it. But is he going to take responsibility for it? No. Do I think it's going to be a repetitive cycle? Yes. And until, you know, they leave, nothing's going to change. We're going to get whoever's next as a manager. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. Why? Because he ultimately makes the decisions. He is the face of Tottenham. It's all down to him. We're not going to see it change. That's what I personally think.
Doom and gloom. Last bit then, in terms of what he said about Harry Kane. So he's asked about Harry Kane. Can he win trophies at Spurs? Can he win trophies at Spurs? His answer is he can absolutely win a trophy. A trophy. Notice that. He can absolutely win a trophy, not trophies, because the question was asked, can Kane win trophies? He's replied, he can absolutely win a trophy. All these things I look at and I think to myself, it's so clever here. So clever. Yeah. But being a legend is also important. Yeah, it's important to be a legend. Great. The fact that he's a top scorer of Tottenham Hotspur, he's making history. I hope one day that there is a statue of Harry Kane outside our stadium. Pav.
Right, so that was one that made me fume. In terms of, you know, the whole trophy business, Kane, he can absolutely win a trophy. It's the confidence there for me. You were so confident that he can win a trophy at Spurs. How long has Kane been at our club and he's not won a trophy? I feel sorry for the guy. I feel sorry for Kane so much. And I've got some stick for this on Twitter with me saying this, but us as Spurs fans need to accept the fact that he could potentially be leaving. Because, do you know what? World-class player, deserves to go on and win things. He's what, 29? I think 29 or something like that.
29.
You know, yeah, he's still young. He has that ability to, you know, win trophies elsewhere. With us, at this moment in time, no. The fact that Levy's so confident that he can win a trophy at Spurs is bizarre. Why are you so confident? Why now? Because are we seeing, you know, the potential for us to win a trophy? And how is he so confident that Spurs can win one? What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say that Kane's going to stay? Do you know what I mean? And then bringing in, you know, being a legend is important. Yes, it is so important. And, you know, Kane, top scorer for Spurs, you know, he's part of our history now. But Kane ultimately wants to win trophies. He's got his individual, you know, recognitions, his trophies individually. He wants to win as a team. But if he's not seeing it, who's to blame for, you know, this not happening? Levy, ultimately. By him being so confident in saying he could absolutely win a trophy, why are you saying that with confidence? Where are we as fans seeing this? Because I certainly ain't.
No, I think the only confidence he can kind of, I'm only surmising here, is that fact that he thinks, you know, that the team that we have currently or going to have are got the potential to do that, because Kane hasn't got that many years left in terms of top level football. I would say, yeah, 33, 34 for him. Although there's some outliers out there, Lewandowski, obviously Benzema, blah blah, people like that. But they're top level, and they've been winning stuff for a long time. So that kind of helps with the confidence of, you know, playing on. that longevity, because you want to keep winning. I don't know if Kane just wants to keep playing at Spurs. Oh, God, we're going to go another season. Am I going to win? I can't see him being like that, because one thing is his contract runs out next summer. I said to people on many occasions, I don't think he's going this year, but I think he's going to walk out on a free next summer, and he can walk wherever he wants to go. The thing is, I think that is going to keep him in the Premier League is these individual targets. But yes, if he goes to somewhere like a Manchester United, there's more chance of him winning and breaking the record than winning and breaking the record with Spurs. So what do you want, Kane? And you're in the best position to be able to do that. 29 years of age, going to be 30 this summer. You're going to have the pick of the bunch whenever you want next season. If he's discounted going abroad, I can see Man United being in for him. I can see Chelsea being in for him. I can even, there might even be a cheek. And I said this, and I'm going to say it again. Arsenal might even, what are you thinking, mate? You know, you're on a free year. You could come down the road. There's always that possibility.
Yeah.
Newcastle's another prime example. Brilliant. He could go up there. You know what I mean? He'd be a bloody legend up there if he was wearing that number 9 shirt. If he wanted to wear number 9. I know he's a number 10. But there's opportunities for him. And all he has to do next season is score another 20-odd goals. He's 20-odd goals closer to Alan Shearer's 260 record. I think he's on 208 or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. And I don't know why I don't know why people are thinking that, you know, Harry Kane's not going anywhere. I don't think he's going anywhere at the moment. But why would he stay? Why would he stay?
Because he's not seeing anything. Is he seeing a difference? I feel that's why I say this time and time again, I feel sorry for him, because you can even see in his facial expressions as well, his frustration. Because do you know what? Kane is delivering. It's not that he's not scoring goals and stuff, but it's a team effort. And if you're not seeing that as a team, how do you expect to win things? Ultimately, it's down to Levy and, you know, the decisions he makes and stuff. But can you blame Kane for his frustration? Can you blame him for feeling this way and feeling like, oh, do you know what? It's probably going to be another season. Like you said, Sam, I won't be surprised if he does walk out after his, you know, contract ends, because it might get to that time where he's just like, no, I'm done. I'm fed up, because, you know, nothing's changing, because all we keep seeing is a cycle. And that's what Kane's seeing as well. Going through God knows how many managers, him getting used to that manager, for them to be sacked, and then playing a different form of football, playing a good few games, dipping, then going up again, dipping, up, down, no consistency there. I don't blame him.
I don't blame him one bit. I would be more surprised if Kane gets sold this summer, because people keep saying, oh, they're going to sell him. But if you know that a player's got 12 months, you could throw in some cheeky bits. Kane isn't going to have to be forced to go anywhere. I don't want him to go, because I know without him next season, we are effed. We ain't got no replacements. We've seen what our £60 million replacement or additional strikers doing at the moment, whether that's a confidence thing. There's lots of things settled. I'm not going to get on to Richarlison's back, but he certainly needs to do better than what he's done this season.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who else are we going to buy in the Premier League who's got Premier League experience? In my opinion, that's what we need. We need someone. They've talked about Ivan Toney. Why would you come to Spurs? You've seen there's a blueprint about players who've got potential, who are doing well, who come to Spurs and F up. Then they go away from Spurs and they seem to do fantastic again. Lamela, Ndombele, Winks. All of these players have gone away doing fabulous.
Yeah, it's true. Look at Eriksen as well. It's crazy, you know what I mean? Isn't it? I feel like that's why I genuinely feel like the cursed.
Darius has said that many times. We're cursed.
It is crazy. It is. I don't know.
Levy's trying to talk what he sees as his accomplishments. Exactly the point, Dino. He's been running away from football journalists and fans for 20 years. He don't give interviews. So he's doing it now because I think he's almost, and it was done back in March. So let's not get it. It wasn't recent, but it's still been only now been, you know what I mean? We're getting into the public domain. David Clark, Joe Lewis's daughter will be the majority shareholder inside 5 years. That's when change will come. Inside information. Richarlison, 50 million for striker who can't even head the ball. It's actually 60.
That's so true.
50 million got you Haaland. And we had some debates on WhatsApp group about Haaland and his abilities. But yeah, I'd rather have Haaland next season than no Harry Kane. And if Harry Kane were to go, we ain't got to step up. There is no step up.
We haven't. No.
There is no step up. So, again, looking towards the future, keep Harry Kane and do everything next year to bring in the right replacement when he does eventually decide to walk. And there's always the chance that he may decide to stay. I don't understand why he would, but he could. Get rid of him this summer would be an ultimate mistake for this club. And another mistake on top of the mistakes that have been made, I really would be done. I really would be done. Because, Pav, I'm trying. I am definitely trying my patience. Newcastle. I guess we can just slightly touch on Newcastle for the weekend. We're going to do, me and Sid are going to do show tomorrow at 12, but I get your thoughts on Newcastle. Is it a game going up to St. James's Park that you think we can win? Remember I said we can. Oh, not even, you don't even think we can.
I'm sorry, Positive Pav isn't showing her face today, but no. No.
Damn, Pav, you've changed.
Where are they now? Are they third? I can't even remember.
No, they're fourth. Man United are third. Yeah. Man United
okay, so yeah. Ultimately, anyway, they are above us, right? The way that they're playing at the moment, for them to be in that position as well, they are playing well. And this is away. We're playing away, okay? And the way that we've been playing against Bournemouth, losing 3-2, if we're playing in that way, I'm not surprised if we get thrashed. This is me just saying, I just think we're going to lose, to be honest. Especially with Stellini in charge.
What's happened to you? What's happened to the positive vibes? Pav, it's gone.
Anymore.
It's gone. I'm just going to show the Premier League table quickly to show people where we are, because I know it doesn't. I know we do this all the time, and I know we shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. 30 games they've played, they're on 56 points. 31 we've played, and we're on 53 points. So the game, obviously, on Sunday would be the one that ultimately could see us back in control of that situation. That'd be right.
Yeah, wait. So if we win against Newcastle, we
still got a game to play. Yeah,
but because of our goal difference,
we'd still be fifth, but we'd have played not the same games. Because obviously, we're playing them. They would have got one game in hand, so they would have to then realistically win that game, and then the pressure's on. And that's what I'm saying. The pressure is going to be on Manchester United. If they've got Harry Maguire, anything could happen with them. Anything could happen because they've got some injuries as well, and they've got other games that they're playing. So I'm not going to do it. I was almost jumping back in. Is there a chance? No. The game we saw when we lost against, who was it we lost against? Bournemouth.
Shocking. 3-2. To go up and draw against them. It was 2-2. 95th minute. Bournemouth score. How, Sam? How? I can't. Shocking.
Apparently, Seville are 2-0 up against Manchester United. Yeah. Happy days, because we play them next week. Thursday, I believe. Or Wednesday as well. So, yeah, we've got two teams who are really fighting for us for that top 4 spot. And I say fighting because I don't think we're fighting. We're kind of like, we're not really doing anything for that top 4. If we get top 4, it will be by everybody else effing up. It won't be because we play well enough to win this. It'll be because Man United have got problems, or they're trying to win the FA Cup, or they're trying to, you know what I mean? Or, Newcastle just get too much pressure on them. Similar to what Arsenal happened last year, and they kind of crumbled. I could see that possibly happening with Newcastle as well. And we'll be just limping over the line because we'd just be there by default. And that don't feel right. It don't feel right. Dino, surely Joe Lewis and his daughter talk. Would you not tell an 85-year-old with 4.5 billion to invest in the squad? Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like he's sure of a bob or two. Oh boy. Final thoughts. I'm getting hungry now, and I've had enough now. because I have to do the show with Sid tomorrow, and we're gonna have to come up with some sort of like creativity about how Tottenham are gonna play on Sunday. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna have to try. So Pav, try and give me some positive. Some positive.
Do I have to be positive?
Well, you can be if you want. No,
I don't know what I'm gonna be. Right. So I've said this about Daniel Levy already. Daniel Levy and Enoch, get out. Okay, just leave. Right. Nothing's gonna change with them in charge. They are the face of Spurs. They ultimately make all the decisions. It is down to them. Your decisions haven't been working for us. We are, rubbish. That's me being nice, saying it in nice terms, right? We're not going to get top 4. I'm sorry. We are not getting top 4. We're going to lose against Newcastle. Now this is me being negative.
No, you go for it, girl. You go for it.
Well, yeah, we're going to lose against Newcastle. Don't forget, we've got Newcastle, Man United, Liverpool. Those 3 games, not happening, right? We're going to rely on other teams for our success on climbing up the table. That's what we've been doing this season. That's why we're lucky to be in 5th. I am surprised we're not lower, where, like you said, Sam, Chelsea are. We're crumbling. We're failing. We've got Stellini in charge, who is Conte's puppy, playing the way that Conte's played. Why would you get rid of Conte to bring in his puppy? I will never know. Nothing's going to change. That's it.
That is why I christened you sometimes positive, because right about now there's none. And I agree with everything you've said in terms of that. The Stellini thing, I don't understand what they were doing. It made 0 sense, but they did. Money-wise, it must be some financial whatever, but it made no footballing sense. And we can see now how little sense it made, because these players, they don't care. They just know he's not going to be in charge of us next season. So if we lose, I've seen off 3 or 4 managers here. I think I'll probably see off another one. And this is the mentality I think some of these players have. When it gets to this heated moment when we can't win anything, we're out. They're getting a lot of grief from the media. Let's down tools. It's the manager. The manager goes. The next manager comes in. There's an effort. And then it goes a bit pear-shaped. He can't get out of them what they need to get out. We can't get the players out the door. I will see this manager off. Until we get some significant changes in personnel as well as Daniel Levy, we have to get rid of players as well. It's not just, and I keep saying, it's not just that one thing. There's a whole host of things at Spurs. We ain't got no strategy. We ain't got no vision. We ain't got nothing like that. Who are we going to bring in to do what? Based on what strategy? Are we going for young players? Are we going for experienced players? We don't know. We ain't got a clue. Just like to add, after the game against Liverpool, just to make you think that we are going to get this top 4, because we're looking less likely. We play Crystal Palace at home. We play Aston Villa away. We play Brentford at home, game before last. And then we play Leeds away, who could be fighting for their effing lives.
Well, Aston Villa are doing well, aren't they, at the moment? So we're going to lose against that as well.
And they're just behind us as well. So, again, if we don't get the result against Newcastle, and let's say they do, they're right on our asses. Then if we don't get the result against Man United, they've obviously gone away. Liverpool, again, they had a 6-1 win the other day against Leeds. They're going to be up for whatever this next few games, thinking that they could probably have a sneaky suspicion of getting into top 4. I don't know, Pav. Oh, well, Paxton Road TV. Thank you for what you're talking. That's what I've got to do now. I've got to just pretend. I've got to pretend and smile through shit. Paxton Road TV, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on this stream as well. Also, look out for the shows that are coming up. Preview show tomorrow, and then the reaction show on Sunday after the game, which could be very... No, it's not, because as I said, it depends on what position you put yourself in. If you're going to set yourself up for disappointment, then you will be angry. But I think now everybody's kind of like, one game at a time, we'll see. We're not winning.
Yeah.
I'm done. We're just going to see a couple of more comments here. The way we're playing, we couldn't beat the Red Line Pub team. We need Son, Kane, and Danjuma for Newcastle. Counter-attack is what this team do best. They're not bad at counter-attacking as well, by the way, Newcastle. Newcastle 2, Spurs 1. We'll see what we say tomorrow. Spurs win in freezing Jodi land. It's not too bad up there at the moment. I lived up there for 2 years. It's a great place. Fantastic. It does get cold in the winter, but they don't seem to care. Yeah, Pav. Super Pav. I'm not going to call you sometimes. Positive. I'm going to call you Super Pav. That's what I'm going to call you now. Are you going to be around the weekend?
Yes, I will.
Well, watch the game and then we can maybe have a talk about things on Sunday. Keep watching PRTv. Some changes coming in the summertime when we got, just YouTube. They don't like us much, but we'll sort that out. Anyway, nothing will change for your viewers. We'll have content coming through. That is it. I've talked enough. Pav, thank you very much. Catch you on the WhatsApp groups and then catch you at the weekend. And stay positive. Stay positive where possible. I'm going to put some music on and get ourselves out of here. Where is it? Where is it? It's here. That's the one. All right. See you later. Take care.